Okay, something I want to share with you, which I think is absolutely hilarious. Oops, fix this. Alrighty. The past 2 or 3 years, actually, no, I take that back. It's for this before the pandemic, the lockdown. So it's probably been the past 5 years. Time flies. I've read 2 books online here on YouTube. Just opened up a book, started reading, that were nonfiction. I mean, sorry, that were fiction. Okay, it was 2 Louis L'Amour books. I've many times taken books, whether it was the Bible or some sort of Bible study or something like that, and read from it or read sections or whatever. And before I did these Louis L'Amour books, and it seemed pretty easy. I mean, the Bible, you can read it out, or if it's a how-to book or something. And I've done zillions of those. So I thought, well, I'm going to do one of these Louis L'Amour books just to kind of break things up, see if I can do it. I don't know how long it's going to take. It takes like 15, 16 videos. You have to sit down and do this thing. And so it was kind of a commitment thing for me. I wanted to see if I could do it. Okay, never anticipated anybody watching them or maybe not even liking that style of book. Although Louis L'Amour is a big title, which I got a lot of hits. I don't know if the people actually, kept with it or whatever. But you still get the hit, which is counted as a view for whatever. And that part did pretty well. But yeah, I read these 2 books that were fiction, Louis L'Amour, and basically just to see if I could do it. I'm not sure why I did the second one, but I had trouble with the first one because there's something I wasn't getting, and kind of had the same thing with the second one. And that is, if you could read a recipe book, a how-to, maybe even a documentary, something non-fiction, and just read it off the page. That's pretty easy. It's time consuming, it's pretty easy. But to do fiction, you basically have to act that stuff out. And Louis L'Amour doesn't do he said, she said. You have to play the female parts, and I'm not going to do that. But I didn't quite realize that until I'd gone through it a couple times. And granted, half the time I was doing it at midnight before I went to bed, kind of sleepy, I'll make commentary, all this. And so I realized, okay, this is not for me. This is not something I don't have. I don't have the, I see how it needs to be done, and I just don't have time for that. If you had nothing else going on, you could, and even then I'm not going to act these things out. That's not me. Whereas nonfiction, it's pretty easy just to read off the page. But I got quite a few views, but some of the comments I got, people that would, hey, I didn't mind the read, but I don't like to see your face. Got a bunch of those. Okay, do you take your face out of it and put something else there? One lady just criticized the heck out of me for not taking the time. You should have read the book first, have an idea where it was going. Both of these books, I said, I never read these before. I have no idea where they're going. So I got all kind of criticism for that. If I'm going to be a professional storyteller on YouTube, I should take the time. Well, I believe you should. Yeah, if you're going to be a professional storyteller, you should take the time to really do this correctly. I'm not, and I didn't. Another one was the commentary. I'll be reading along, and I'll whether it's historical or something funny, I'll make a comment on it. Oh, that ticks people off, man. You took them out of the zone, or out of the story, or whatever. And I had some people leave me comments that were pages long. So that was something I didn't expect praise or that I would lack criticism, but some people really, it's really a big deal for them. There's lonely people in this world. Anyhow, I read the 2 books. They were fiction. It's a whole different animal. I won't do it again. It's just wasn't very entertaining. I proved myself, okay, you could do it. You could just show up so many times and pop this thing out. Okay, I did that part. And even then, if you think, for reading it for the first time, I really can't remember what the stories were about because I was so busy trying to convey what was going on. And so it's like I didn't even remember the story. I got nothing out of it. It was just a kind of a double negative for me. Lost the time, didn't get the story. But like I said, if you were going to do something like this, there's some people that are really good at it. And hey, God bless them. That's a skill I just don't have the patience for or have. The fiction, or nonfiction, much easier. I have a couple of books of mine that I want to do. I just haven't found them in my storage yet. I got a really good book on the long hunters back in the day, going out hunting and for game and fur and all that stuff. Great books. But the comments are interesting. I leave them up. I don't mind any negative comment with some of the things that these, especially with your face, dude. I'm listening. It's okay, but I keep seeing your face and it just ruins it for me. Oh man, you don't realize you're dealing with Generation X, man. I don't give up. Anyhow, if you ever get a chance, you might be a great storyteller. I tell you this: if you take a book, any popular book, whether it's fiction or not, and you take the time and a decent sized book. Louis L'Amour's a small book. They take about 5-6 hours. But if you took a decent sized book, it might be 10 hours. But you get loads of views. If you're trying to get views on your channel, it's not a bad way. Even if it's not what your channel's normally about, you have a favorite book, especially if it's fiction. If you could act it out, people eat that up. Because no one reads anymore. They don't want to. I prefer a book myself. But if you want to get some views, maybe grow your channel if that's your thing, don't be afraid to get out there and read a book. But don't worry about the criticism because it was funny for me. I got one just this morning about my face. Yeah, I hope this guy has a way of meeting people some other way. But anyhow, for me, I did it. Okay, did that, whatever. Not my thing. I'll continue to do the other stuff, the nonfiction, Bible and all that. But if you, it's not a bad way to grow your channel, and it might be a skill that you just naturally have that you're good at. And those people should be on YouTube pumping out books because they're good to listen to. You might be one of those people. And the more popular the book, the more views you're going to get. Anyhow, love you, God bless. Hope my face doesn't bother you that much.